Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Successful CEO. As always, I'm here with you. My name is Zishan. You know who I am. I'm the CEO and founder of YouYoung. Today, we are speaking to someone really, really special. I've known her for a while. We're good friends. We've done some work together. Julia, hi, how are you?
Hi, Zishan. Very good. Thank you.
Good. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. It's always nice to speak to you. Tell me and tell everyone else, who are you? Why are you here?
So I am Julia and I'm the founder of Ingeniously. So my business, I founded it a few years ago, but after being a lot of years in the industry of personal development, but specifically, our goal is to help you unlock your inner genius. So that part of us that's so smart, so brilliant, but that at times we don't really know how to unlock, that we can use everywhere, whatever we do.
Wow, so you actually make geniuses.
I like to think so, yes. We help people rediscover the genius part.
Okay, wow, that's really interesting. All right, tell me more about this company. So how did you find this company? Where did it come from? Like, where did you come up with this idea? It's amazing.
So I actually started when I was in Italy. Like you may hear from my accent, I'm not British. And when I was 18, I took a course on memory techniques and speed reading, which I loved, and it gave me a lot. But most importantly, what I saw is that it really helped everyone who was taking it to realize how powerful they could be. So in a very tangible way, when you start doing something that 2 days before you thought of as impossible for you, all your standards and possibilities shift. You start seeing what you could actually be able to do in a very different light. And I was very excited about that, seeing this change in people's eyes. And so over time, I started working with the company in Italy, and I was trying to be able to teach these memory techniques, speed reading techniques, and also to run my own business, until I went years later to the States to try and export that format to the States. I lived there for a year, and then as it often happens, my visa was rejected, so I had to think of another plan. And I decided to come to London in 2016. So now I've been in London for over 9 years, and there I initially brought the Italian format, but then over the years I realized that we needed a bit of a change, and we needed something that would suit the British culture and London London culture even more. And so I founded Ingeniously at that point in 2022.
Wow. So you've been doing this for a long time. How many words per minute can you read?
So Italian or English? Because I still...
Let's go with Italian.
So I think that the most fascinating thing about speed reading is that we should never aim at a specific word per minute. I'm sorry, but there's text that you can read at 2,000 words per minute, but of course your understanding of the text won't be the same as when you read at 600, 700 words per minute, which is still very, very high compared to 200, which is the norm for most people. So I would say that in Italian, I usually read 600, 700 words per minute if I want to properly understand things. In English, maybe it's more around the 500 words mark, but it depends on also how hard the text is, how much understanding I need. I never prioritize speed over understanding because of how I am. I want to understand things. So I would say that's the benchmark at the moment.
So with good understanding, you can read between 3 and 4 times faster than the average person. And you also take the knowledge in as well.
Yes, that's the goal. That's the goal, because otherwise it's useless.
Wow. So you do make geniuses. Okay. And then with an amazing memory to boot. So all right, cool. So there's no hope for the rest of us, really. We will have to.
There's hope for everyone, because everyone's brain is able to do that. It's just that we don't know how. And so that's what we want to do, to teach people not just how to read and memorize faster, but also how to think more critically, more creatively, how to be more productive without burning out, which is something that some people struggle to find a balance in. So learning how to use this powerful asset that we have a bit better.
Wow. Okay. All right. So you've done all this amazing memory work, speed reading work. You've worked with countless people. You've been doing this for a long time. You've moved to the UK after the US didn't want you more to our benefit. Welcome. What's been your biggest challenge during this time? I mean, CEO of a company, bringing a brand new concept over to a new country. What's been your biggest challenge?
How many hours do we have? So there's been many challenges, of course, as a CEO. If I had to think about the main one, there's 2 that come to mind. The first one is at times we don't realize how many things we don't know. And this is important for me. It's been very important because when I came from Italy, from the experience in the United States, also I lived in China for 1 year, so I was pretty used to meeting new cultures, but I didn't realize how much I would need to adapt what I knew to a place that was different, to people that are different, culture that is different, in terms of product development, in terms of business model, in terms of HR, like everything is just so different from the experience I had in Italy. And if there was a manual that tells you everything about that, that would be easier. But a lot of these things you just need to discover along the way, right? And so it wasn't always easy until at times, you make a mistake. After a while, you realize, oops, this thing didn't work. And so you go back and you rebuild. And so you need to have this mindset focused on exploring, testing, adjusting until it becomes easier. And connected to this, the second challenge, I think, is trying to do it alone. Because very often in this role, we think we're expected to have all the answers and to be able to do everything. And as long as I had that mindset, it was very hard until I realized that we have people, and people can be amazing and they can provide so much value in terms of expertise. And so learning how to surround myself with people that have very specific expertise on one side that's different from mine, but on the other side that shares similar values, they believe in what I'm trying to build, in the mission that I have. This combination becomes very, very powerful, and it helped me a lot once I finally got it.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like you've got a real nature of adaptability here, changing to environments, changing to people, so you can mold what you have as a core piece to fit the environment around you. Is that right?
I like to think I do. I do have that. I think it's fundamental to have it. It's a constant balance though. So it's always about trying, and then you realize you overcame a limit. It's like, I pushed too much. Let me come back a little bit. Maybe at times you forget a little bit of who you are in favor of this adaptability, and you forget the core. At times you are too tight to the core and you don't adapt enough. So it's a constant dance between the two, but it's important to try and dance it until we learn how to dance it. I believe it's necessary.
Wow. That's very cool. That's very cool. And I think over the years of speaking to different CEOs on this podcast, it's interesting. There's a continual theme that comes out, and you're saying very similar things to what a lot of the other successful CEOs have said in the past, that you need to be able to move quickly. You need to be able to change and understand your environment and not be stubborn. If you're stuck in your ways, if you're sitting there doing the same thing again and again and again, the environment around you changes. And you're a great example of going from Italy to, I think you said China, to US, to UK. And they're very different environments, culturally very different. The way business is done is very different. And yet you've succeeded, and you're here today telling us this amazing story about how adaptable you actually are. So I would say, and I think everyone else would agree, that you are adaptable to the situation.
Thank you. Yes, I guess I am. And as you were saying that, what came to mind is also, I didn't mention it before, but we also work in Ghana, for example, and we have for 6 years now. So that's required another type of adaptability as well in terms of culture. So yes, I guess I am adaptable. You are.
We all agreed on that now. So with all this amazing adaptability that you bring to the table, you've obviously created a company that moves and evolves and changes with the times, with environments. I don't know if you're going to be able to answer this next question, but what is the thing that you're most proud of in your company?
Again, how many hours do we have also for this?
Many do you want?
But so there's many things, but if I had to narrow it down, I would say that on one side, what really makes me feel proud and fulfilled is when I see clients that worked with me maybe years ago, that years after, they still come to me to share some of the amazing results that they are having. And I love this because it shows me that over time, there's so much impact that we have. So not just in the short term, but also over time. So that what we teach is actually essential and helpful, and helps people to reshape the way they see the world, they see their own skills, they search, they explore, they learn, they think. And this just makes me realize the impact that I'm having along the line. And the second thing is when people come to me and they're like, wow, your team is so amazing, you're so fortunate. And I'm like, I know. I do have an incredible team, both here and in Ghana. And I'm so blessed, and what I know about them is that they are also adaptable, and some more, some less, of course, but they all have this drive to becoming the better version of themselves. And living up to the standard that they set for themselves in their life and spreading joy, right? And when I know that regardless of interacting with me or with someone else in the team, people feel that their life has some more value, some value has been added to their life, that's another thing that really makes me proud, because I can't be everywhere, but knowing that there are other people that are in their own way sharing similar joy and expertise and passion, that's amazing.
So it's the people that come through your business who come out the other side and come back to you and say, you have made such a profound impact on my life. Thank you so much. That's really special. Most companies, most organizations can't say that. So that's a very, very, very rare thing. I've been doing business for 24 years, and it's not very often that I come across an organization that says, we get people coming back to us and they're like, that was fantastic. That was phenomenal. It reminds me of that movie Hitch. Have you seen it with Will Smith?
Yes, of course.
where he helps people come together, and it's something warming and loving and caring, and they're sending him thank you cards and appreciation. It sounds like that. You're like the hitch for the brain.
No one ever described it like that, but that's nice. I should use it.
So, all right, with all this love and affection that you've got flowing around you all the time, I imagine this next one, and this is going to be the last question, I'm going to let you go after this, I promise. How do you encourage creative thinking within your organization?
So, being a company that works on how we use our brain, also creatively, I have to encourage creative thinking, and I believe in creative thinking a lot. And over the years, I've really asked myself why certain team members felt more comfortable in sharing their ideas and less comfortable. And so what I've identified is a series of things that I think need to be there for people to feel free to think creatively. Because all of us are creative if we're put in the condition to be so. When we are in fight or flight, when we're scared, when we are inhibited somehow, we won't allow all those ideas to come. So on one side, we need to have an environment where people for real know that mistakes are encouraged, that there's no right idea or wrong idea at the beginning, that it's true that we want to explore ideas. Because some people are very good at saying it, like, no, this is a safe space, don't worry, no one will judge. But saying it and doing it are two very different things. So first of all, people need to feel that that's completely true. But also, people need to know that their ideas will be valued. And being valued doesn't mean necessarily that all ideas will be implemented, because at times some ideas are just not possible, not now, or they're not relevant. But they need to know that their ideas will at least be explored, evaluated, looked at. If someone contributes an idea and then that idea is just discarded or ignored, at a certain point, their enthusiasm in feeling part of this creative process will die. If on the other side, they know that they are in a safe space, their ideas will be looked at, explored with the actual interest and curiosity, then at that point, they will be encouraged to bring more to the table and also understand why an idea works, another one doesn't. And so their input will be also more and more valuable over time. So if we manage to build this culture, then we don't just need to rely on our own ideas, but on what the whole team is bringing to the table. And they have eyes in places where a CEO cannot have eyes. So that's fundamental for a business, I believe.
So the engagement with your staff and giving them the opportunity to feel part of the organization, rather than it being, you're just here to do a job, fulfill your hours and then get out the door. You've completely got rid of that structure altogether. And it's very much about creating an environment for people to feel engaged with you and feel valued, not from a remuneration financial perspective, but actually from inside their heart and inside their mind, that what they're doing, what they're thinking on a day-to-day basis actually matters. And that's another something which, again, you don't hear about very often, especially within business. It's always, you're a function and you can be replaced.
Well, I understand why for some businesses may be the case, but I wouldn't be able to work like that. I think that the reason why I do it is to impact people's lives, and it's not just clients that come through the door, but also the people that are around me every day and work together with me on this project. And so they need to feel engaged. And I read recently that actually, in terms of engagement, now financial rewards are not really that enthusing anymore. Like, a lot of people favor feeling engaged in terms of being part of something that they believe in more than just a few extra pounds. And And this is important to remember. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't incentivize also financially, of course, but it means that if that type of fulfillment that comes from knowing you are building something is not there, any financial incentive will not be enough. And so, yeah, we're building something together here, and it's nicer when you do it like that, I believe.
Build a community around you. That's what they always say, right? Right. So I'm going to have to download my CV, sharpen it up, and I'm going to send it to you because I want to work at your company now. So you're going to get an application from me very soon. Giulia, it's been lovely speaking to you. Thank you so much for your time. Now, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, if they want to find out more about you, how can they do that?
So you can definitely reach out to me on LinkedIn with my name and last name, Giulia Remondino, or you can look at our website, Ingeniusly.com, where you find some fun free quiz that you can take for yourself to discover your superpower so that you can just get started with the idea of unlocking your genius. So that's a very fun way also to get started with something free, fun, engaging, and that already gives you a lot of insights that can be helpful for you.
So a free tool to find out what your superpower is. I'll be doing that in a minute. Thank you so much for joining me today, Giulia. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I know you're super busy, so I'm going to let you go now. Everyone else, guys, the links are in the description below. Check Giulia out, have a look at Ingeniusly, and go find out what your superpower is. Why not? Have a lovely day, everyone. Giulia, thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.